Hi guys, this is Manish Fitkariwala from Catapult Weddings. You know what? Over a period of last 20 plus years, right, with different zones of experiences in terms of corporate life, then starting your own venture in last 6 years, and I believed, I felt, there's a lot that I can share, which can perhaps be uh, a guiding factor in terms of overall wedding industry or event industry. And it's more to do with sharing your experiences, working in different zones in different countries, and with different organizations, with different people. Uh, so there's a lot that a story, there's a lot that I wanted to share, I wanted to discuss. So that's the whole idea of starting this Manish Talks. Uh, so to begin with, yes, there is a sense of there's an element of uh, doubt, there's an element of fear with overall this pandemic. The life is never going to be same again, and perhaps the worst thing that has impacted is the overall spirit of a human being. Right now, me and you as an individual also today are not on our highest spirits in terms of when it comes to any kind of fun or even small celebrations at home. So it has definitely impacted the overall industry. To needless to mention that. But I think perhaps we were one of the organizations, or I say we were really proactive in terms of somewhere in the month of April end, May beginning. I could sense, I could feel the overall size, the of weddings and even events will drastically go down. I also had a sense of feeling that it's something which is going to last long. It's not going to be that like it's not going to be and going to end in very near soon. More importantly is that even if it is when it will reopen, right? The it coming back to normal, what it used to be, right, will be in a phased manner. Right? It will not be like opening in a bang. So what we did is we before that, we were predominantly as an organization we were into destination weddings, large signature HNIs weddings, especially in Sri Lanka as a destination, then across different venues in India. And we have never looked into few verticals and domains of business, right, which we started exploring in the month of May, right, and we started approaching few leading five-star properties in the vicinity of Gurgaon, right, where we had our own connections in the past. And when the idea was that we wanted to come out with some designing studios inside the premises of a five-star hotel. Idea of approaching hotels was that we wanted to collaborate with them, wherein it's a win-win model for both of them. This model has been there. It has been there for some time. There have been vendors, people, planners who have been doing this, but we as an organization we are not there. So the first crackdown happened in one of the five-star properties in Gurgaon, wherein we collaborated with them. Now I'm very proud to mention that we from June onwards, right, we have been doing back-to-back projects. Yes, the size of the weddings have gone drastically down, both in the terms of commercials also because the number of packs are limited by the norms of the government. Now, few proactive steps were taken from our end in terms of selecting the vendors whom we work with, right? Few policies for the internal team now were adopted, especially in terms of for every event, right, the vendors whom we work with, we ensure that each and every, starting from a florist to a fabric guy to a structural to a production person, is tested, COVID report is done. My internal team is periodically, tested, So what it has resulted in totality is that the overall volume, right, number of weddings or events we are doing much more. The values have drastically gone down, right? Now, so that was a call of the hour. So today, like if I say that in November, December we would be doing, back to back multiple projects, right? Similarly, we started approaching few other hotels, right, in the same pattern model. So I am very happy to share now we are currently already closely working with 3 to 4 properties in Gurgaon. So these are the few. I think what worked for us is what the a proactive approach, right, and leading it from the front in terms of before, you know. Okay, now there's no template as of now for that, but what we follow as such is, I believe that as the word goes, management, right? I think that plays the most important role, right? Any given wedding, irrespective of the value of a wedding, right? Number of vendors are multiple. Right? How do you manage that? How do you manage when you do 3, 4 projects in a given day? Because weddings are normally they are limited hire dates. So what we have very strictly followed is in terms of timeline management, and a lot of homework is being done before the team comes to the site. We do a lot of pre-production work in terms of layouting, in terms of detailing, in terms of, and I come from a very old school city, to be very honest to you, right? Wherein I believe in a lot of documentation process, a lot of write-ups being done. Everybody should have printouts of what they do. Allocation of work. I don't believe in this concept that in a wedding your team wears multiple caps. I don't work in that model. If somebody is handling production, he's only handling production. If somebody is handling floral, he's only handling. As you can see right now, even while we are working on this, there's a lady who is only into floral. There are a couple of guys who are only into production, right? So, detailing the scope of work, allocation of work, management, right? I think these are the first do's. These are the most important things. In terms of don'ts, first thing first, be upfront with the guest and the client. There are things which cannot be done. Don't overcome it. I think that's one of the things which a lot of people practice, which we have tried to at least nullify within our organization. Be upfront, because end of the day it's a wedding. It's a dream day for a couple and the entire family. You cannot go wrong in few commitments which you have done. So it's very important that you don't overcome it. That's the most important don'ts for me. Likewise, there are multiple things, but if you ask me to frame it up, these are the few things which has to be as do's and don'ts of the wedding. Okay, this is a dream which started somewhere in 2014, to be very honest. Right, a good, handy job, 18 years, staying abroad. Life has been beautiful. God has been kind. So the whole idea of Catapult from day one was that to make a difference in the method and approach of a wedding, or I would say overall event industry. I would not say that I have achieved it. There's a long, long way to go. But if you ask me today, after 5.5, 6 years, I am happy where we are today. Yes, there has been multiple challenges, ups and downs as a course of a wedding, of the overall organization part. But few things which stands out for us is we have been very particular, like you said, when we started. I believe when I went out for my first sales meetings for multiple hotels and guests and vendors, the immediate reaction was श्रीलंका. अरे क्या मनीष भैया, श्रीलंका में शादियाँ नहीं हो सकती है. Today I'm happy to Sri Lanka is the most booming destination for Indian wedding. What worked, it was the perseverance, the belief in my product, right? I think that what makes Catapult stand out. If I believe in something, I pursued it for long. And eventually, over a period of time, it has always yielded results. Similarly, like I just said today, the model which we are adopting, I think is going to stay, right? There are a lot of modification that needs to be done. So to summarize Catapult in one is, think differently, believe in your dreams, results will follow.